This video is going to be on how I picked all the icing off the cake on my birthday cake. I know you do it too. Just kidding. This video is just a quick thought I had. And I have the cool guy stuff here, the thermal and the night vision, because otherwise grown-up man-children like myself won't pay attention to the important stuff. Gotta dazzle the shiny stuff with monkeys. And God, that's me too. Just did our first pressure canning, my family and I, sweet and sour chicken. And it came out all right, but in preparing for this, I was doing research and I was looking at the scientific data from the USDA about pressure and heat and killing botulism spores. Read it, make it a video. Move out, soldier. And I just, a thought hit me, and this has happened before, but I just decided to sit down and make the video now, about various individuals, libertarians, not all of them do, but there's certain people I run into more often than you think that want to, quote unquote, abolish the government. Now, to me, that's a pretty broad statement, I guess. I guess it isn't, but so when I ask them, I say, all of it? And they, oh, yeah, all of it, oh, sure. Okay, well, I mean, maybe that might work. I don't know anything. I don't profess to know anything. I have an imagination and I have access to history. Well, as much as you can trust it. I mean, we all know that sometimes that's effed with too. Anyway, the USDA quite some time ago did studies on what temperature is needed and for how long on to kill botulism. Approximately 240 to 250 degrees for a prescribed period of time. So I would say that all the work they did was a good thing. Saved quite a bit of lives. I believe there was 3,000 to 4,000 a year before they did this, and then they did this study and it went down to 100 a year. And if you're wondering, vegetables, because it has to do with low acidity and high acidity food, acidic food. And vegetables seem to be the ones that still are the most prevalent with botulism, and it's a hardcore thing. You need a lot of heat and a lot of time to kill it. So anyway, are you talking when you say abolish the government? Do you want to get rid of that too? Do you want to get rid of the aspects of government and all the things that certain government agencies have done over the years to save countless lives? I don't know, I'm just asking. Because I can see the allure of having no governing body, anyway. Although I kind of wonder what most guys think that's going to happen during that. Is it just a free check for them to do whatever they want? And I don't know. That's kind of, a part of me thinks it's kind of, But anyway, or are we going to look at government like we should look at a lot of other things? Drugs, guns, hammers, baseball bats, anything, okay? A noun, a person, place, or thing.
Baseball bats?
Sure, why not? So when you have a thing, things don't do anything by themselves. They need interaction with another force to do something. It's almost like it's physics or something, law of physics. But I don't know anything about that. So when you, no you don't, pipe down over there. So let's say you introduce individuals to maybe equipment like this, and those individuals aren't so good. Bad things might happen. Let's say you introduce individuals into things like this that are good. Good things can happen. So when you say you want to get rid of the government, I have to question that. I understand your frustrations at the current state of government in America. I totally get that. I'm right on board with that. But I wonder if we have to look at more of as a thing. We have to look at the people who have infiltrated that thing. The hypocrites, the devil worshippers that have infiltrated that thing. Are they the problem? Or is the system the problem? Because no man is ever going to make a perfect system. We're not the Lord. But what the Founding Fathers did, I think, is pretty smart. You had a overreaching governing body, the federal government. It was supposed to be very limited in its tasks because of the power it had. Because when it made a rule, everyone had to follow it. And then each individual state could make their own individual rules. So if you didn't like the rule of your state, you could move. Sounds like a pretty good system to me. But again, I don't know much. Problem is, what happened? You got sociopaths, hypocrites, devil worshippers that seek out positions of power. And they get in these positions of power and everything gets corrupt.
I'm drawing.
You're drooling?
Drawing.
Okay. I drool sometimes too, don't feel bad. So anyway, that's my nonsensical semi-rant slash observation slash thought for the day. Probably for the week. And if you have any comments, if you think I'm a moron, you can go ahead and tell me in the comments. If you do, though, please link to the source from which you regurgitated your info from. And if you didn't regurgitate your info, if it was an original thought by you, one, I applaud that, no matter what it is, an original thought. But if it is, please accompany it by logic and maybe some facts to, bolster that thought, so I could see where you're coming from. Or you could just bloviate in the comments like an a-hole, like I do sometimes. That's great too. Either any one of those work. Peace out, yo.